Women also suffer from the illusion of options. I had to realize you're not picking a man out of all the men in the world. You're picking a man out of all the men that like you. Specifically on the likes you part. Somewhere along the way, I think we were taught you could have any man that you want. Possibly, yeah, you can have him, but in what way? You may have his time, his attention, his intimacy, but do you have his mind, his heart, his respect? Do you have his commitment to you? I really think we have more options than we do because we believe we're everybody's type. The truth is, a lot of men, they will take you, but they don't always want you. They will take a woman, any woman, a wife. They just want somebody, just like how sometimes we as women just want somebody, anybody. But you're not their ideal girl. And even if you're not their ideal girl, even if you're not their type, you have to be what that person wants 100%. You have to be his type or his new ideal. Maybe you've changed it for him, but still you have to be his 10 out of 10. And I'm not even talking about looks or superficialness, because sometimes a man's dream girl, the one that is the most attractive in the room, the Megan Fox, the Beyoncés, the Angelina Jolies, are still not the women that they treat the best. You have to ensure that this man loves you, like really loves you. And a big part of that is making sure that he's invested in you. If not, then he's settled in some way, or he believes he's settled in some way. And he's not going to tell you that, but his actions will. Never chase a man. And I think that's why sometimes we think we have so many options, because we think, oh, well, I can go out and do the chasing. I can do the pursuing. Chasing a man will lead to a man who tolerates you. The only men you should ever be interested in, that you should ever be considering, are men that like you. They like you. They like you first. That's it. Those are all your options. The men who pursue you, who are attracted to you, who approach you, who want to buy you things, want to help you pay for things, they want to protect you, want to provide for you, they think about you. You shouldn't be the one obsessed with them. You should not be breaking your back, bending over backwards to please, attract, and keep a man. Trying to get him to notice you, trying to show up where he's at, trying to entice him and engage him, overly obsessed with him. It's a humiliation ritual. It's not going to get you what you want, because at the end of the day, you might have him, but you don't necessarily have him. You know, that's why there's so many women on this app, they're married, but they still don't have that man. He's mentally, emotionally, romantically checked out of that relationship. And he always has been. It's just that as time went on, they realized, man, I can't live like this. This isn't actually what I want. But from the start, you were the pursuer, you were the initiator, you were the one trying to catch him, making that person the prize. And I think, like, we also grew up watching movies where it's like, you know, the bad boys, and, you know, he's so confused and angsty and emotional, and, you know, he's all these issues, and the girl is like running after him and trying to convince him to be with her. They tricked us, they lied to us. That is not how it should work. You will suffer in the end, always. And then one day, that man is going to have a daughter, and you will see how he actually acts when he loves a woman, when he loves a girl. He will protect her, provide for her. He's not going to want to say anything, you know, bad about her that'll hurt her feelings. He's going to be present and emotionally aware. Like, I have seen, like, the way a man will treat his wife is different than the way he treats his daughter, because there's love present with his daughter and not with his wife. You have to make sure that the man that you accept and receive into your life actually loves you and cares about you. And that is through his actions. Why would you want to be a man who, you know, he's 10 years later, 5 years later, he didn't want to marry, but he just, well, you were just there. Honestly, I don't have anything else to say about it, but I just feel like this has really changed my life when I realized that I'm not picking out of all the men in the world. I'm picking out of all the men that like me in the world.
It's like dealing with women. You have to realize that there's normally is what she's saying on the surface and then what she means behind the scenes. Some of the stuff she said was really, really good, and some I really disagree with. But the illusion of options, women think they have more options than they actually do. And when I break it down to girls all the time, the kind of guys you're looking for, it's like he's a very small percentage of the guys that actually exist out here. And then once you get past all those filters that you have, 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 inches, whatever you want to say, not only you got to find that man, you have to find him and make him want to like you. And she was saying some things about having a guy like her, this, that, and the third. But I find it funny that women always chase the guys that don't like them or don't care about them that much.
Mhm.
And I think we kind of disagreed on this in the past, D. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of paraphrased that you say that you think that the guy has to like the woman more in order for a relationship to work, right?
A marriage to work.
I mean, okay, fair enough.
Let me say that a marriage, because, and the reason behind that, right? As men, I feel like we are simple individuals. We are routine individuals, but sometimes we could be nonchalant about things. But when we have a woman where we really care about, as you've seen men that care about cars or different things, you see the work that they put in. You see the things that they do when they really, really care about certain things. So that's why I have that idea of a man, because you see a man that care about his car. You see, especially the older guys, they go clean that car every other day. It seems like, be having the car straight. A guy that's into shoes, you see how his passion is for shoes or fashion. You see what he does, and this is, you see this is a part of not only what he likes, but this is his lifestyle. A guy that's into fitness, you see what he puts forward. A man that's really into a woman is just different. It's just different. Once you're really into a woman, it kind of changes your perspective on a lot of things. Not saying perfection will be there, but it changes your perspective in a way where I think for a man, when you're younger, like, or when you don't really care, it's almost like if she does something that makes you mad, you still getting that mode of, you know what, I'm still gonna do for her. I'm still gonna take care of her. I'm still gonna make things happen. And that's when you truly becoming a man. A lot of people think they're men by age, but it's what you do. So I think that's a part of it, and that's why I have that idea of that.
I get what you're saying, and I get why you say I still don't agree with you, but I don't want to necessarily argue this point now. We could argue that on a different episode. But my point is to you, the question to you is, why do you think women think they got it better than they actually do?
Well,
because they get a lot of attention.
It's grown up. It starts when we think of things. Let's go to the root. Like, I'm not a therapist or anything else, but I've noticed this with people. If you start asking people about their childhood, what their experience was, two-parent household, you start talking about some of the things. Even the dad, sometimes when they have that two-parent household, he need to be doing this, that, and the third for you. No one ever tells a lot of the time some women like, hey, you need to be gentle. You need to be a soft space for this man. You need to do this, that, and the third. It's always what a man should be doing for them versus what things that they can do for a man to make life simple. We talk about it sometimes. A woman in a man's life should be an investment, not a bill. Everybody gets, when you get a bill in the mail, you like, why? You know it's coming, but you get upset at the bill. Nobody want to look at a bill. But when you start looking at those investments that come in the mail, and you say, oh, my stock went up or something, you get excited about those things. So if I can tell a woman anything, make sure you're an investment in that man's life. Don't you. It's okay. Sometimes you're a woman. We have understanding as a man that you might be a little stressful to us sometimes. But if that's all that you do and all that you can provide, I think it's just. But I think the root of it goes back to their childhood and how they were brought up, of being told all the time, he need to do this, that, and the third. If he don't do that, he's not a man. But what makes them a woman? What qualifies them as a woman?
Nice.
So that's the thing. I think they think I could just show up and I need to get what I need to get and not do anything.
I'm going to say there are three main reasons why a woman thinks she has more options than she does.
Mm-hmm.
One, social media. There are so many guys, Alex, you alluded to it earlier, but women's attention, the attention of men now has become valueless. It doesn't hold any water anymore because so many men are just coming to them all the time, telling them how beautiful you are, and just for existing. Back in the day, a woman had to go out, make herself look pretty, walk out on the street, and actually go out and seek male attention. Now it's given to her endlessly on social media, even by simps in the comments. Go ahead, bro.
It goes back to something my coach used to always say. It's not about your highlights, but I want to see your game film. What's your day-to-day?
Yep.
Instagram, all the social media shows your highlights of you. Everybody highlights. It looks good. It's showing your highlights. That's what that is.
How many joints you done seen? And it's so weird, bro, because when you really know women and know the game, you can spot a girl's insecurity just by her Instagram pictures. I can look at what kind of filters you use, how far you stand back, certain angles. I can pinpoint the exact insecurity that you have. But most guys never call that stuff out. They're just, you're beautiful, you're so gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, some of them do be cute. But the person you see on Instagram and the person that you see in person, it'd be two different people.
Well, listen. Let me just say this. I think it comes to access too. On the other side of men, to just go into a DM. It's a little different. Because I was looking at a statistic, I think we talked about it before, where it was well over like 60 or 70%. Most people don't have initial conversation with a woman in person.
Different show.
So it's almost like when people start dating, whether it's a dating app, social media, or anything else, most people don't have that initial conversation with that woman in person. So it's almost like this easy access. So for a woman, this is the thing we're talking about though. For a woman, a woman might have let's say 15 or 20 dudes say something to her on a given day, and you look good. Oh, you beautiful. Can I get your number? They hear this, and so this is associated with my value. I am valued. Look! All these men hit me up, but how many of those men out there 20 want you as a wife, or want you as a girlfriend, or really want to pursue you and be intentional about you versus the one that's just trying to have sex with you?
Exactly.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say they affiliate having a lot of attention as a lot of options when it's not the case. It's far from the case.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the second thing that I kind of want to go into, I want to take the same route you took, just different avenue to get there. It's the family thing, and I'm going to speak about Black women because you and I, you're married to a Black woman. I date Black women. 70% of us are raised by single mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's these women that are saying that, oh, a man should do X, Y, and Z. A man should do this. A man doesn't do this. How do you know what a man does? You never had a man in your home.
Mm. Well, off of social media, off of movies. That's
Tyler Perry movies.
but these are the examples of what a man should do. They don't see a man in the aspect of a man does have weak points in life, and they're gonna have these weak points where even in leadership they might have a long day. You're not your expectation. It kills me when women say men shouldn't do this. How do you know what men should not do, or what man should do? I know what you can say. This is what I want from a man, but you saying this how a man should be, or this is the killer for me. This is the killer for me. And these are people that grew up in households where they say their mom said, "I'm your father too."
Definitely heard that one before.
You can't be. Unfortunately, you could be a great mom. You can raise your child really to the best, but you cannot be a dad. What a man gives, and just like a man can't be a mother, like it's vice versa.
That's the beautiful thing about it, bro. We both need each other. The masculine and the feminine are very important in a child's development. And
the nurturing is important.
And unfortunately, in the Black community, we have enough of the feminine essence, but we kind of we don't take the masculine side serious enough or have enough influence in the masculine side either.
It was something, and this is just a point, and I know we could just talk about things like this forever, but just notice things that are missing when somebody has, don't have that. It's the things I would not say. Just having my pops in my life and stuff like it's just things I would not ever say out of my mouth. I know I would never put my hands on a woman. I would things I just would not do. Learning from both of my parents, I think that it was essential having both of my parents for me to hey, you can't do that or you can't do that. And I feel like both my parents talked to me different growing up too, which was helpful.
You not having a mother or a father will significantly hamper and damage a child's development if you don't have one of the others. Sure. I'm not saying that person will turn out a serial killer or a sociopath, but there'll be something missing in a certain aspect of their life. And for as beautiful as a woman, as a mother's love is, you need that counterbalance of a masculine figure there too, because the mother wants to protect you from every little thing in their life, and they'll instill fear into you, and not knowing that fear will cause you to grow up and then be what dudes would qualify as, a bitch, for lack of a better word. You'll be very emotional, you'll be kind of bitchy. But the father comes in and says, you know what? Let him make mistakes. Teach him a little bit about life. It's that real thing. But when they work together, interact together, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, I think it goes back to us saying the need for one another, which we talked about for different occasions, the need for a man and a woman. That's why I don't like the man versus woman thing a lot of times, because I need you and you need me.
Facts.
But the thing is, we've grown to this cold-hearted age of I gotta be cold-hearted. That's what makes me look tough. You ain't gonna make me look sweet. You ain't gonna make me look stupid. And I think people are so much of building a fence, right? Versus building a bridge. A bridge is more impactful than a fence. So you so worried about building, oh, I'm gonna protect this, I'm gonna protect that. But unfortunately, with any type of growth, with any type of good thing in this life, it takes vulnerability. I'm not telling you not to protect yourself, but it takes some instance of vulnerability for growth.
The last reason that I think that women feel they have more options than they think that they do is, unfortunately, it's us fellas. It really is, because men, we don't operate in a level of honesty to women. We tell them the things that they want to hear, and they think that because we're lying to them, we're telling them the truth. Like, for example, a man, you know what our goal is from Jump Street. We trying to hit. So we will do everything in the world to make sure that we stay on the girl's good side, including tolerate her bad behavior, letting her be late for dates, letting her talk to you disrespectfully, because you know at any point she got a gun to a pussy, she could pull the trigger and you ain't going to get nothing anymore, right?
Weaponize it.
They do weaponize that, bro. And it's to the point now where, like, men, we have to stop lying to women. If a woman's late to a date, you check her on it immediately. If she's being rude to you, you check her on it immediately. Most guys do not work like that. Do you honestly think if most guys were to check a woman's bad behavior, they would be as entitled as they are right now? No. And then when you meet a man that has boundaries or has respect for himself, all of a sudden
he's controlling.
Exactly, he's controlling,
manipulating.
You already know, bro. You already know. And we talk about this too, bro. Women like dealing with those guys that they can control because it makes them feel better about themselves. Because you already know you deal with a me or you, like you're not going to be able to play that game.
And then when you come across a man that, and it's showing sometimes for some women, when you start hearing, hearing some, friends or start talking about the type of man that they deal with, and it's like when a man puts his foot down and they say, "Man, I can't believe he said such and such." I'm sorry, I would say the same thing. Like I don't. The whole thing, something as simple as this: you go out, right? And again, I'm not going to be too controlling, but if you're gonna have your breasts out, your butt out, and all that other stuff, like, why you need that? Why do you, if you with me, why you need that type of attention? Why do you need that? Because guess what? You could say, "Oh, I'm doing this for me." Let's be real. Are you really doing it? Alex, you can comment on it. Do women really do most things for themselves, or is it to show out for men and get the attention of men?
It's definitely to show out, because I mean, even if I didn't have a man, I'm not going outside like that. So that's.
But I'm saying, that's the thing again. And if we comment, as you said, we comment on we're manipulators or we're controlling. No, I know how other men might respond to you having your titties out or your butt out. They're gonna start howling at you soon as you walk in the door. Like we know that other men gonna respond, and there's more so about your safety too. So it's not just like that, where you can go out and look nice and stuff like that. But to the point of you, what you're saying, I think when they start dealing with men like that, they shy away from it because guess what? That man's gonna hold you accountable, and accountability is scary for most women. From a good man.
So I think that we as men have to start holding the women a little bit more accountable and actually telling them the truth and not what they want to hear. And if more men did that, there would be such a many girls saying, "Oh, they had 3 or 4 baby fathers, but all of a sudden they can get a 6'5" Chad if they wanted to." I'm like, man, come on, bro. You don't got it like that. You don't got to lie to me.
But again, that goes back to the comments, them getting the comments on the stories, he he gonna say that because guess what he trying to get to? It's not the altar. It's not the altar. Trying to get somewhere else. He trying to meet you at the bedroom, not the altar.
And that's funny too. I forgot which one of y'all said it, but like women cannot tell the difference between a guy like that wants to court them and take them serious, and the guy's just trying to get the cookie. That's it, man. Women think because she has 10 guys. Here it is. This was a fire bar. I forgot where I got it from, somewhere on Twitter, but they said that women think they have options because they got 20 broke niggas trying to fuck them, and that's a woman to a T. Most guys are not there for you. They're not going to be there for you spiritually, emotionally, want to build with you or wife you
financially
after they
either.
had sex, or financially, bro. Different conversation.
Yeah.
And go there all night.
And here's the thing, though. Some women see the man not being there financially, spiritually, and all these other things, and let's go back to letting the dudes that don't really care about them impregnate them, or just keep having sex with these dudes because it's a good feeling. But you cannot sit there and make those type of decisions, right? And this is what happens. You make those type of decisions and you try to make other guys pay for them, the decisions that you made, the sins of your baby father. Don't try to make other guys pay for those decisions that you have made.
But here's the conversation going full circle. And this is not just a shit on woman time, but I noticed that women have a very hard time looking ahead. They're all about, how do I feel right now? What's best for me right now? And here's the thing. When you have 2 or 3 different dudes getting you pregnant, you knew the guy wasn't on anything. You know he doesn't finish anything. You know he's not in school, wherever the case is, right? You're thinking because your parents are alive right now, you're having a little bit of help from the government, whatever the case is, that I'm okay right now, so I'll be okay 30, 40, 50, 60 years from down the line. Let's keep it a buck, bro. Most women, even with their parents alive, they're scraping by for pennies right now. When your parent passes on, and keep it real, most of the parents don't have life insurance or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the parent passes on, the house is technically left to you. You can't afford to upkeep it. Now all that financial help that you had is gone now. What happens to you and your kids if you're unmarried, 45-year-old single mother? What's going to happen? You're going to be homeless on the street.
And again, it's not just the women, because the men have to make these decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a shared decision, right, of what they do. But you got to understand, most kids, I don't have the statistic of, most kids live with the mom, right?
Yeah.
They're living with the mom. So the dads essentially turn into weekend dads or week by week dads. Like they don't have to carry the burden that you have to do. So again, and it sucks. It's a lot, because you're going to have to carry this baby for 9 months. You're going to have to, this child probably most likely going to be with you. And again, it's not fair, because but men have things, women have things. So notice, sometimes the ball falls on us, sometimes the ball falls on women. But this is the type of thing where you have to be mindful of who you allow to give your body up to, who doesn't. And this is the biggest thing to me. A man that tells you that he's not ready for marriage, but he's ready to have kids with you.
Crazy.
And most people will bash me for saying this, but it's just like, I feel like if a man's saying, I have a kid with you, he's not going to take responsibility for the kid, because in his mind, I can impregnate her, the kid going to live with her, I can live my life, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So if a man not even having the intentions to marry you, versus if he's more intentional about impregnating you, at some point, what do you want? It might, hey, hold up, what? This isn't a good situation for me.
But see, that's the thing, bro. And I've talked to so many women, both platonically and women that I've dealt with in the past that might have went ahead, had a children. I talked to them for 3 or 4 years. They always sit there and cry to me. Some of them have 1, some of them have 2 and 3. They'd be like, man, I never knew how hard it was going to be being a mother.
Being a parent's hard in general, so I couldn't imagine doing it by myself. I'm going to just tell you that right now.
Especially with multiples.
But see, and this is what the Bible says too. And Tyler Perry said this. It's like the Bible guarantees us we have a few short days on this earth. Paraphrasing here, of course. But those days are going to be filled with trouble. Why are you going to go ahead and add on top of the trouble you already promised by God? By having kids but with an irresponsible person, developing a drug addiction, smoking weed, whatever the case is, getting in credit card debt. we're already promised trouble. We don't do anything.
Mhm.
Why go ahead and add more on top of that? For what? And then girls, they be wanting somebody to feel sorry for. I'm like, okay, what do we say? Once is a mistake, twice is a choice.
Yeah. And I'm just say this too, because I do want to address the fellas too. You gotta be careful who you lay with as well. You got to be careful because some good guys out there that make the same type of mistakes. You know, they take care of the kids, do everything, but now the woman, you don't want to be with her because you see how she is. Now she's giving you a hard time with the kid. Now you having problems seeing your kid and stuff like that. So you gotta be mindful of that too. But again, I would say this. I would suggest this, and people probably not gonna like it, but the best avenue or the best place is to have a kid is within a marriage. And people might say, well, you can divorce, you could do, but I guarantee you, most of the time, and sometimes it doesn't happen, but most of the time, that kid, even if the parents separate, it will be a better structure than it would be for not to have that man in the life, or even a woman, because there's some deadbeat moms out here too.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But if women would take the saying "marry before you carry," the world would be a better place, because it literally kills me, bro. People will have sex unprotected, ejaculate into that woman, and both of them are surprised.
The condom broke. Yeah, shut up.
Come on, bro. Like we're not 5 years old. We know how sex and contraception.
We 30 plus too. That's what be killing me now.
Bro. Come on, man.
That's what kills me now.
It is what it is, man.
Well, I take him to the cranky.